So have you started? I can't hear you. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, let's start the last session. In next 1 hour, try to complete the remaining 3 chapters. Okay. So the chapter number 6 is on social accountability. 8,000. This SA 8,000 is developed by SAI, that is Social Accountability International. This is an independent organization at international level, and ISO 26,000 is developed by International Organization for Standardization. In fact, the 8,000 is the basis for 26,000 standard, and more or less, the same requirements will be there in 26,000 as well. ISO 8,000 is a certification standard, while ISO 26,000 is a guideline standard, not for certification. Okay, so the standard, which is ISO 8,000, organizations can go for certification against that, but yet it has not been formally adopted by ISO 9000 as a certification standard. It is still a guideline standard, and therefore the certification against ISO 26,000 is not possible. Okay. Now, what is the mission of SAI? Social Accountability International. It advances human rights at workplace. Okay. So earlier on, I used to think it is similar to OSHA's Occupational Health and Safety Management System, but SAI has, a little different and more requirements compared to OHSMS, and the focus is on different thing. It is about the human rights, correct? So occupational health and safety requirement is one thing, but human rights is other things, and all those things in detail are described in SA 8,000. The vision is, we envision a world where workers, businesses, and communities thrive together. Okay. So what is the vision? There, all these 3 classes, workers, businesses, and communities, they all thrive together. That is the vision. So as we know the history of the capitalists and communists and socialists and all those things, where always the capitalist system, people have been talking that it is about squeezing the workmen and then prospering. Okay, so this is what the Marxist philosophers had objected in the beginning, and then therefore they said that everyone has equal rights, and all those things happened in Russia and China and everywhere, and the communist system was adopted, but we saw that it was not a very successful system, and Russia, China, both these major countries sort of abandoned that Marx or communist system. So let's see this SA 8,000. It was founded in 1997 by Council of Economic Priorities Accreditation Agency. Social Accountability International is a global non-governmental organization advancing human rights at work. SAI's vision is of decent work everywhere, sustained by an understanding that socially responsible workplaces benefit business while securing fundamental human rights. SAI empowers workers and managers at all levels of businesses and supply chains using its multi-industry SA8000 standard. SA8000 is a leader in policy and implementation, working together with a diverse group of stakeholders, including brands, suppliers, governments, trade unions, non-profit organizations, and academia. It has 9 core areas which it has addressed, and these are child labor, forced labor, right? Health and safety. So this somehow resembles the OHSMS, health and safety. Compensation, working hours, discrimination, discipline, collective bargaining, management systems. So these are the 9 core areas under which the SA8000 has given certain guidelines and requirements for an organization to follow to comply with the social accountability standard 8000. So you can use this acronym sort of thing, CFH and S, that is child labor for C, forced labor, F, H is health and safety, H and S, CFHS, and then CWD and D, compensation, working hours, discrimination, and discipline, and Chief Minister, collective bargaining management system. So, this is an acronym which you can use to remember these 9 core areas of, SA8000. And by the way, our emphasis here is not on, remembering the things, unlike in the academics, the board exams and university exams. Here, as you know, the examination is open book. You can refer to the textbook, correct? So therefore, there is no need to, mug up the things, but to understand, and then the questions are asked intelligently. So if you understood the principles and applications of the principles, then you will be able to very easily, clear the exams. Okay, so the focus is on understanding.
So what do you mean by collective bargaining?
Okay. Now, in OHSMS, we have seen participation of management. Now, participation of workers in management, managed OHSMS, correct? So it is sort of involving the workmen in the decision-making process as far as the occupational health and safety management is concerned. Okay. Now, here, other than that, there are so many aspects like child labor, forced labor, compensation, working hours, So, as we have seen, the unions have definite say and power into the decision-making process, So the SA8000 ensures that the management considers the views of all the employees and managerial staff. So definitely some sort of organized structure where these people have a bargaining power, and it is collective. So it's not a 1 employee or 2 employees are saying that, but all the employees' views are there, and therefore they have bargaining power vis-a-vis the management. So that is what is decided, that the unions of these people at different levels, like at the union workman level or the supervisory level or managerial level, they have to have a say in the decision making power. So leverage on the collective views of people, and they will have the bargaining power. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. Now, the Council on Economic Priorities research found that corporate internal codes of conduct tend to be highly inconsistent, expensive and inefficient to monitor. Okay. For example, if you take India, all those 9 areas, we have various legislations the government has put in place. Some of them are in the, Factories Act, some are in the labor laws, Minimum Wages Act, and so on, but what they did the research across the globe and important countries and found that there are inconsistencies. Somewhere only 3-4 aspects are considered, somewhere all are considered, somewhere less importance is given to something. Yeah, right. Then expensive and inefficient to monitor. Now who will look into this? So what are the mechanisms available? Will the government officials go in each and every factory and find out whether there is a child labor, forced labor, this and that? It's very inefficient process of monitoring these things. So therefore, they came up with this universal sort of system of SA 8000 and an auditing system where there is a consistency, all aspects are taken into account. So that was the objective. Such codes and their monitoring systems also tend to be weak on auditability and sensitivity to local laws and customs. The social accountability standard and its verification system from established business strategies for ensuring quality management systems such as those defined in the International System 9000 and additional system elements that international human rights experts have identified as essential to social auditing in order to ensure maximum effectiveness of social accountability system. ISO 26000-2010 helps in giving guidance on social responsibility. So basically what it is saying that, similar to the international standard ISO 9000, the SA 8000 tries to have proper verification systems for SA 8000 credibility. And ISO 26000 therefore is adopted by ISO, that is International Organization of Standardization. And over a period of time, it is expected to be a certifiable standard under ISO. Currently, only SA 8000 is certifiable, not the ISO 26000. SA 8000 system includes 3 elements essentials for social accounting. One is specific performance standards set with minimum requirements. Okay. So certain they have specified some performance standards and also specified the minimum requirements. Auditors are required to verify compliance with team from interested parties such as NGOs, trade unions, and workers. Okay. So the auditors, they won't be satisfied with the answers of the company officials, but they will be verifying this with the interested parties, the employees, the non-governmental organizations working in that area, the various trade unions and workmen. Complaints and appeals mechanism which allows individual workers, organizations and other interested parties to bring forward issues of non-compliance at specific facilities. So the SA 8000 certification mechanism, they have a mechanism where someone can register a complaint against an organization which is certified to SA 8000. Okay? And then the auditors and the certifying agency will look into the matter and then take it to the conclusion. Okay, so the organizations will always have tab on what they are doing with respect to the social accountability. And if anything of such sort, any complaint comes against an organization, a wide publicity is given by SA 8000 to such non-compliances, therefore ensuring that the organizations are always following the standards laid down by SA 8000 once they are certified. So this is very important in SA 8000, that is the robust certification and accreditation mechanism. Okay, So what is you understand the certification and accreditation mechanism?
Oh, so
Hmm?
I understand, but I am
Okay. Okay.
not very
Okay.
much
Okay.
never got into this process.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So for example, you said you are MCom.
Hmm.
Okay. So you got a certificate, a degree, which says you are MCom.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to simplify, to understand it. Now, who has given you this degree?
Mumbai University.
Mumbai University has given you this degree. Okay. And your college would have issued that, no? It
So
will be,
I did a correspondence course.
you did correspondence. But suppose I went to Jamnalal Bajaj, so I got a degree
Jamna
from
Bhai.
Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of
Yes.
Management Studies, So I got a degree from Jamnalal Bajaj Management Institute. Okay. Now, some XYZ gets, from say R.G. Patil Institute of Management Studies, correct? He also gets an MBA, correct? So what is the degree? Degree is MBA. But what is
Yes.
the difference?
Done from which college?
Yeah, which college? And are these colleges accredited to or related to an university? And say you find out that this R.G. Patil College, no, it is not
They are not the
related to any
autonomous.
university. So they are not affiliated to any university.
Huh.
If they are supposed to, they are supposed to be accredited, authorized by AICTE, All India Institute of Council of Technical Education. All management and engineering colleges, they have to be certified by AICTE, but we find they are not. Okay. So why it is important to get affiliated to AICTE? Because
So that we have a
the
proper.
standards, they ensure the standards. They will say, okay, if you want to accreditation with AICTE, then you need, and if it is an engineering college operating mechanical engineering, then these are the type of facilities they should have. This is the workshop facility. This is the, professor's qualification, this, that, blah, 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 all those things. So it is a credible system, isn't it? So like that, ISO 9000 certificate is issued by several agencies, like several colleges issue a degree. Like that, ISO 9000 certificate is issued by several agencies which are accredited by an accreditation board.
Got it.
So these accreditation boards are internationally recognized. So, for example, we have in India, NAB, National Board of Accreditation, India. Okay. So they give accreditation to a company XYZ, and the XYZ issues a certificate, right? So that will be accepted because that certificate will have logo of NAB, India.
NAB.
National Board of Accreditation. That is the accreditation board of India called NAB. Okay. Now in Europe, if this certificate is seen by some buyer, he will say, okay, they are accredited by NAB. They will check what is NAB. NAB is the accreditation board in India, which is recognized internationally. So they will accept the certificate. Okay. So that is the importance of a robust certification and accreditation mechanism.
Got it.
Okay. So nowadays, the ISO 9000 certification and accreditation system has not remained as it was earlier, it has become little loose. The standards are not maintained. Whereas the SA8000 certification accreditation mechanism is very strong. Any non-conformity, will not be hidden. They will report it and not issue the certificate, because the certification agencies are audited very strictly by the accreditation board frequently. They will go and do a surprise audit of, say, Reliance Industries, which got SA 8000. You know, so certification agency maybe, say, Bureau of Indian Standard, but and they do audits every 6 months. Say BIS does an audit every 6 months and certifies. Once upon a time, within a 3-year time, this SA 8000 without any notice, no, they will suddenly come and do an audit in Reliance Industry, and they find several gaps. So what will happen? First, the certificate of Reliance will be withdrawn. Second, the certificate of BIS will be withdrawn. Therefore, it's a very strict mechanism of monitoring, a robust certification system. That is the meaning of that.
Got it.
And these are the various aspects of a robust certification system. It increases the objectivity of the system. Certification auditors look for objective evidence for effective management systems, procedures, performance. SAI has developed social auditing techniques which are now used by certification firms, managers, and labor rights monitors alike. So all other ISO systems currently in operation, there is a single auditor certification system, internal auditor or external auditor, which is based on ISO 19011, which we will see after this chapter. But SAI has a different auditing system and standard, and there have to be different auditors and certification of those auditors. Anybody who can audit 9000 cannot audit SA 8000. Corporations need to see SA 8000 as a way to strengthen their competitive edge, encouraging constructive dialogue involving broad range of stakeholders. Input from these diverse actors allow SAI to continually improve the accreditation process and the SA 8000 system overall. Okay, so this is the importance of a robust accreditation mechanism in SA 8000. Okay, so we will now go to the lesson which is related to this particular standard, SA 8000. Okay, so it has various sections, and in introduction itself, we have gone through the introduction in the overview. SA 8000 certification system is based on what? Can you answer this? SA 8000 is based on?
So this is International Human Rights Norm.
Yeah, correct. B, International Human Rights Norm. Social accountability norms, social justice norms, and universal social rights norms. So let's look at the text, what it says. It's based on the principles of international human rights. Okay. B. Then SA 8000 is developed by
SAI, Social Accountability.
Identify the incorrect statement.
SA 8000 is a certified standard, yes. SO 26.
Yeah, go on.
ISO 26000 is a certifiable standard. No, it's a guideline standard, no, sir?
Right, correct. It's a guideline standard. So this is the correct statement, but this is incorrect. Yeah. Right. Okay. Now, objective is to understand this, what is the importance, what are the benefits and guidelines, understanding the guidelines. So it intends, what it intends? Empower and protect all personnel within an organization, empower and control all personnel of the subcontractors, influence organizations who provide products or services to the organization. What is the correct combination of applicable requirements?
So it intends to empower and protect all persons in organization, control, empower and control subcontractors. So only one.
Okay, so intends that organization shall comply with the effective management system, the ILO and other international norms, to empower and protect all personnel within an organization's control and influence who provide products and services for that organization, including personnel employed by the
All
organization itself.
three there.
Yeah, all three are there, right?
All three are
Yeah,
there.
so all three are there. So very strict.
1, 2, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Both SA 8000 and 26000 have 9 core areas.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the core areas. Identify which is not among the 9 core areas of SA 8000.
So freedom of speech.
Yeah, this is not there.
So but ऐसे तो याद ही नहीं रहेगा, ये तो freedom of speech अलग लगा.
Yeah, but we are fortunate to have this as one of the principles in our
Yeah.
constitution, freedom of speech,
Correct.
and widely misused.
Correct, totally.
Identify which is not among the 9 core areas. Second question: working hours, bonus, discrimination, collective bargaining.
The bonus.
Bonus. Yeah. Okay, so these are simple questions related to principles. Now look at this, some of these applications. Social Accountability International was founded by
SAI, na? So SAI was founded by some labor था ना, international labor कुछ था.
ILO.
ILO.
ILO. Okay, but this should fall into this category. Sorry, principles category. Let's see, इसको simple question. Okay, identify drawback of corporate internal codes of conduct for OHS. ये तो हमने ओवरव्यू में पढ़ा है, we just read that. What are the drawbacks of corporate internal code of conduct for this should be SA 8000.
Code of conduct. Okay. Identify drawback of corporate internal codes of conduct for. So they are inconsistent or what? No, we won't say that.
They are inconsistent. एक कंपनी में कुछ बोलता है, दूसरे में कुछ और बोलता है. They are expensive to monitor and all. So therefore, A and B, both A and B. That is the correct answer. Okay. And then corporate internal codes of conduct for and their monitoring system tend to be strong on auditability and sensitivity. Yes, 8000.
Corporate internal code of conduct for SA 8000 and the monitoring systems tend to be strong and audibly sensitive to local laws and customs. No, sir, they are weak, na? They are false.
False. That is correct. Okay. Then match the pairs. SA 8000.
SA 8000 is a system element, is a certificate. नहीं, इसमें क्या है? So ISO 26000 को guidance में डाल दो.
Okay. This was easy.
Yeah.
So this is a guidance standard, right?
Yeah.
And that is where.
So, and international human rights experts social accountability.
पहले 9000 कर लो ना आप, easy.
9001 is quality management systems.
Right. अभी बच गए 2, ठीक है?
हाँ.
SA 8000 और ये human rights.
So SA 8000 is system elements essential for social auditing. नहीं.
This is social accountability. SA 8000 is a standard for social accountability.
Social accountability.
This international human rights experts, they define the system elements
essential for social auditing. Yes.
Okay. So this is a application level question. what is the relevance of ISO 9001 to SA 8000?
I don't know. ISO 9000 is necessary to certification to SA 8000. No, not required.
Next वाला क्या है?
Certification to SA 8000 automated results in ISO. No, SA 8000 system is modeled on 9000. Just C, right, sir?
ये पढ़िए पैरा. The SA 8000 system is modeled on the one
Used
used by
company.
corporate companies to ensure quality assurance.
ISO
9001, है ना?
1.
So it is C is correct, right?
C is correct, yeah.
SA 8000 system includes the three elements: performance standard, auditors are required to verify compliance, and complaints and appeals mechanism. These are the three very important, elements of SA 8000. So this is just out of how many elements are included as essential elements in social auditing. So these three. Okay.
3.
One of the essential elements of social auditing SA 8000 is setting specific performance standards. What is the requirement?
Specific performance standards are defined. Specific standard performance standards are measured. Specific performance standards are set. So there's nothing, this specific performance standard set with minimum requirements, na?
This is what we have been talking,
Yeah.
all these standards have the performance standards. They want they to be, it's defined. They need to be measured. But only SA 8000 says that there have to be minimum requirements set. ठीक है? तो जैसे वेजेस के बारे में है, so minimum wages act जो है वो तो होना ही चाहिए, है ना? So such performance standards, minimum requirement is this, and then I will achieve this.
Okay.
Yeah. So like this, I think, we should be able to do, and, we will just go to the next, standard, which is on auditing. Now let me share the overview slide on that. Okay. So this internal auditing management systems is the topic which is covered in international standard ISO 19011-2018. Okay, so very recently this standard was released, and earlier this standard, the standard is there in existence ever since the ISO 9001 standard was released, but it also has undergone several changes for the last 30 years. So the current version of the standard is 19011-2018. It provides guidance on auditing management systems. So under ISO, any management system can be audited using this standard, and not the SA 8000. It is not under ISO. Okay? It is SA 8000. Principles of auditing: managing an audit program and conducting management system audits. Guidance on the evaluation of competence of individuals involved in the audit process. So the standard also covers guidance on what should be the criteria for, the auditors, qualification criteria of auditors. These activities include individuals managing the audit program, auditors, and audit teams. Okay. It is applicable to all organizations that need to plan and conduct internal or external audits of management systems or manage an audit program. So what is the purpose? Purpose is determination of conformity oblique non-conformity of management system elements with respect to the requirements of the standards. So it can be only QMS, it can be only MS, or it can be all the three, correct? So scope, under the scope. So what is the keyword? Keyword in this is determination of conformity oblique non-conformity of management system elements. So what are the management system elements?
So ISO 9001.
No, that is the management system. What is an element? Elements are processes, policies, reports. All those are elements of a management system. Reviews, they are all elements of management system.
Okay.
So conformity of the elements or non-conformity. तो पहले उन्होंने क्या रखा है? Conformity.
हाँ.
So जब आप audit करते हो तो you go to verify the conformity.
So आपने क्या बोला? What is the elements process और दूसरा क्या बोला?
All the things which are involved, so you need to have a manual, you need to have processes, you need to have procedures, SOPs, reports, management reviews, quality improvement programs, risk assessment processes, so these are all elements of a management system, which are, the requirements are defined in individual systems like QMS or EMS. So if these requirements are complied or not, that has to be verified. है ना? तो ऑडिट में क्या करेंगे? वेरीफाई करेंगे कि सिस्टम रिक्वायर्स मैनेजमेंट ऑडिट, मैनेजमेंट रिव्यू, सॉरी मैनेजमेंट रिव्यूज, पीरियोडिक मैनेजमेंट रिव्यूज, है ना? So does it specify how many times you should have a management review in a year?
No.
The standard does not specify, correct?
No, it does not.
But the management would have defined that we will have quarterly management reviews.
Yeah.
Now, what the audit should do, once they have defined this, they have to go and find out, do they do the management reviews or not?
Got it.
So that is part of the audit.
Sir, if it is not defined, then still can you highlight saying that no proper review mechanism?
Yeah, because the standard requires periodic management review. That means they have to define periodicity.
Okay.
Suppose somebody defines 10 years as periodicity, then what happens? They will say we have defined. But he said, is it adequate for the purpose? Is it not adequate? No? How can you say 10? When you have to review the annual performance, quarterly performance of quality parameters and all, and you are saying 10 years, that means it is not adequate. So it is a non-conformity. So standard says it should be adequate. So it is a very detailed, well thought of standard. All the standards are, that's why 176 countries are, 143 countries are involved in making that standard. A very robust process, so anybody cannot fool around, right? Then say, okay, we have defined quarterly management reviews or 6 monthly management reviews. Okay, so they say, and they have seen, yeah, management reviews are done. How do they verify? So there is a complete process of auditing this system, So that's what is given in this 9001. So remember that the auditor's job is to verify conformity and not find out non-conformity. समझ गए?
समझ.
So why in the process of finding conformity, they might come across non-conformity, and therefore it has to be recorded and reported. तो क्या होता था, पहले हम लोग ऑडिट करने जाते थे ना, हमको पता नहीं था, तो हम लोग जाते थे और पता करते थे अरे किधर प्रॉब्लम है. So we used to get into the mode of finding non-conformity.
हाँ
and the audit used to be big failures. And so, no,
हाँ
find out conformity. और उसने अगर बता दिया तो ठीक है, नहीं बताया तो रिकॉर्ड कर लो, उसका साइन ले लो.
हाँ
I could not demonstrate conformity, so therefore it is a non-conformity.
non-conformity, correct.
ठीक है? So that is how, the standard 19,011, a proper training on that standard is required, that of the auditors, to make the system effective and the audit process effective to achieve the objective of the audit. Measurement
So
of
what
effect.
is the qualification required to
No
pass this?
no qualification. Degree is no qualification in any of these things, It is the understanding of that standard 19,011. So आपके organization में कोई क्लैरिकल स्टाफ होगा ना,
हाँ
बट उसके पास में डिग्री भले 12th पास का होगा, बट इफ ही अंडरस्टैंड द स्टैंडर्ड ISO 9011,
हाँ
has undergone training and has been certified, then
हाँ
he is good enough. But somebody who has PhD in commerce, but he
हाँ
doesn't know ABC of 19,011, so he cannot audit.
हाँ
He may be having that 19,000 in his self, but he has
हाँ.
not read. He might have read, but he has not understood. He has
So how do you
understood.
get certified, sir?
Certified means he has understood and he has demonstrated skills to audit.
So there is some organization where you need to get this done from.
Yeah. So, for example, we have been certifying the auditors for internal audit. Okay?
Acha.
So our program covers all these things,
Okay.
the understanding of the requirements of the standard, undertaking the audit process, audit methodology, reporting of the audit, going on to the site and verifying compliance, and then reporting improvement opportunities. So all those things are part of that, and there is an exam at the end. So those who qualify, they get the certificate.
Got it.
Yeah, that way. So these are the purpose. Now there are certain definitions, of which are very, very pertinent to only audit profession, and they have been defined in the standard. Like audit is a systematic, independent, documented process. So each and every word used in this definition is important. So you have to understand what is systematic.
Stepwise, basically,
It
process.
is it's a well planned systematic activity, well planned, done by well trained auditors. The auditee is ready for auditing. He knows there is an audit. It is not a surprise activity. Correct? So it's a systematic. It is an independent. What is the meaning of independent?
It does not require any other department. It is a standalone activity.
So you cannot do audit of your own department.
Haan.
Then it's a documented process. Okay? So these are the things. For obtaining objective evidence and evaluating it objectively to determine the extent to which the audit criteria are fulfilled. ठीक है? इसमें किधर लिखा है कि नॉन कंफर्मिटी निकालना है? नहीं लिखा ना?
नहीं. वो तो हम ऑडिटर समय होके हम वो ही ढूंढते हैं.
वो गलत है.
हमारा जॉब क्या है?
नहीं, आपका जॉब है कंप्लायंस निकालना. हाँ.
उसको फिर नॉन कंफर्मिटी.
और उसमें अगर आपको लगा कि नहीं हो रहा है कंप्लाई, तो आप रिपोर्ट करना है. दैट्स इट. वेरी सिंपल जॉब, नो? ऑडिट स्कोप ये डिपार्टमेंट का करने का है, वो डिपार्टमेंट का करना है, पूरी कंपनी का करना है, दैट्स द स्कोप. ठीक है? फिर 9,000 के अगेंस्ट करना है या 14,000 के या सबके अगेंस्ट, दैट इज द स्कोप. देन क्राइटेरिया क्या है? व्हाट इज द क्राइटेरिया? क्राइटेरिया इज 9,001 and the company's quality management system. That is the criteria. है ना? वो क्राइटेरिया में अगर नहीं है तो आप फिर उसके अगेंस्ट ऑडिट नहीं कर सकते हो ना. If there is no criteria, then there is no audit.
Correct.
Audit evidence. What is the evidence? Is records, statements of facts which are relevant to the audit criteria and are verifiable. What is the meaning of verifiable?
But it's basically when you remove the report later on and they are trying to check whether the particular non-conformity that you highlighted, whether that is there or not.
Okay, so you undergone the audit, it seems. So it is verifiable. Auditor cannot report anything he likes. You know, somebody
हाँ,
can go and verify कि ये बराबर किया कि नहीं इसने, कुछ भी report तो नहीं किया है ना वो.
हाँ,
That is verifiable. So like this, you know, you have all these requirements. You have to, you know, the audit standard has 19,011 has all these definitions in that, and I will advise that, you know, you at least need to have copies of 9,001, 14,001, yeah, 45,001 and this 19,011. इसका कॉपी आपके पास एक होना चाहिए, ठीक है.
कॉपी मतलब सर
This
ये
it is document published by ISO, so you have to buy it, and it
Okay.
is easily and at a very reasonable price available with Bureau of Indian Standard. You can buy it online.
Okay, these are not online available.
They are available online for purchasing, no, from BIS, Bureau of Indian Standard.
नहीं ऐसे नहीं, ओपन डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं है ये.
नहीं ये ओपन नहीं है ना. This is a copyright, and you know, आप कहीं से भी कॉपी कर सकते हो उसकी, बट यू नो यू शुड हैव एन ऑथेंटिक डॉक्यूमेंट, एंड दे आर नॉट वेरी कॉस्टली. यू नो 400-500 रुपीज में आपको एक स्टैंडर्ड मिल जाता है कॉपी.
ओके ओके.
ठीक है. नाउ audit principles है, you know, these are the 7 audit principles which are given in that standard 19,011. So integrity, you understand integrity, I don't have to, you know.
Yes sir.
Fair representation, है ना.
Yes sir.
So truthful and accurate reporting. Due professional care, जैसे
So basically you have to be very careful in मतलब अगर हमने कुछ आइडेंटिफाई किया, कोई डिपार्टमेंट नहीं कर रहा है, तो इट शुड बी विद इन दैट. We should not make a big you know
करेक्ट,
speak about it.
राइट. सो भाई गलती कोई भी कर सकता है ना.
हाँ
बट आप उसको बहुत बड़ा मत बना दो. मैनेजमेंट को जाके रिपोर्ट कर दिया, CEO को बोल दिया अरे हमने तो इसमें तो ऐसा हो रहा है वैसा हो रहा है. करेक्ट. सो डोंट सेंसेशनलाइज द थिंग्स. ओके. एप्लीकेशन ऑफ डिलीजेंस, आप जाओ तो यू नो यू हैव टू डू योर प्रॉपर होमवर्क. यू नो द यू नो ऑडिट करना है तो you are giving your you know judgment based on what you have seen. तो अगर मुझे कंप्लेंट मैनेजमेंट प्रोसेस आपने बोला ना हैंडल करते थे आप, तो इफ आई हैव टू वेरीफाई वेदर योर कंप्लेंट मैनेजमेंट प्रोसेस इज वर्किंग प्रॉपरली और नॉट, so what I will do, I will go to your CRM.
Yeah.
And I will find out, type some words, abusive words. ठीक है. तो मुझे वो मिल जाएगा क्वेरी जिसमें कस्टमर ने एब्यूसिव लैंग्वेज यूज किया है. ठीक है. फिर उसमें एडिक्वेट क्लोजर नहीं हुआ है. ठीक है. तो मैं जाके बोल दूंगा कि ये यू नो इनका सिस्टम बहुत खराब है, यू नो कस्टमर्स अब्यूज एंड ऑल दैट. बट there may be 1 lakh complaints in the month and they would have managed 99.9% complaints well, but आपने intentionally निकाला एक जो ठीक से नहीं हुआ था. ठीक है. तो you have to take a proper sample size. उसमें 1 लाख है तो आपको अगर उस पे ओपिनियन देना है तो you take a adequate sample size, use a random number table and not specific words, you know, and find out the problematic issues. And then if in the sampling, if you get such cases, then you have to report. Otherwise, you cannot report. So that is due diligence, you know, diligence. Then time पे जाना है. 2 घंटे का ऑडिट है तो 2 घंटे में ही करना है. ऐसा नहीं कि 10 मिनट में इधर उधर चाय पी के आके यू नो सब ठीक है बोल दिया. राइट. Then judgment, use the proper judgment in auditing, you know. We talked about that. Scientific basis होना चाहिए, you know. Don't exaggerate, don't underestimate also. मतलब बहुत बड़ी चीज है उसको भी दबा दोगे तो वो भी गलत है ना. No, that way. So professional care. Confidentiality, security of information. ये क्या? What do you understand by this?
So auditors have a lot of information because they
Yeah.
have
They
for
have access
every,
to everything, correct?
yeah.
अभी मैंने आपको वो जो डॉक्यूमेंट देखा है ना इसका हीरा का, दैट
हाँ
दिस रजिस्टर, आई वाज एन ऑडिटर एंड आई दे गिव मी ऑल देयर डॉक्यूमेंट, बोला सर आप ले लो क्या करने क्या करो.
हाँ
बट इफ आई keep using it and telling this that and name of the company, then I am not maintaining the confidentiality, है ना,
करेक्ट.
that way.
तो वो हीरा होता क्या है सर?
That is risk register, no?
What's the
Hazard. उसका
full?
full form, I keep forgetting हीरा का. That is hazard identification and risk assessment, हीरा.
Okay.
Hazard identification and risk assessment, that is the full form. इंडस्ट्री में हीरा बोलते हैं. आप फाइनेंशियल फाइनेंस में तो ये जमानों से होते आया है, ठीक है ना.
अच्छा हम लोग उसको सर तो RCS ऐसे भी एक है ना, RCS भी एक होता है,
व्हाट इज द फुल फॉर्म?
रिस्क कंट्रोल सिस्टम ऐसा कुछ है.
Maybe in financial industry that is defined, because I remember our financial auditors in Tata Teleservices, they used to do this risk assessment business, and they were presenting all these reports to the MD. I used to be a backbencher and just see what is happening.
हाँ
So I know that the risk assessment is done there in the industry, financial industry, telecom industry, services में बहुत करते हैं. So independence, so we have understood. Evidence-based approach again, based on the facts, data, evidence, and risk-based approach. Now this is an additional audit principle, which was added after 2015. Earlier this was not there. So since the industry is using risk-based approach for managing their processes and operation management systems, so auditors needs to understand what is the risk-based approach of auditing. So an audit approach that considers risks and opportunities. So have they identified the risks or not? Have they taken advantage of the opportunities by taking management action on the risks? So certain risks, they result into opportunity. If you take a proper action, you will gain out of that. So that's a opportunity. There is a cost and there is an opportunity. So आपने risk identify किया accident का, you put in management action. So there is a cost involved. But what is the opportunity? Because of that, the accidents have come down.
करेक्ट.
So कितना opportunity है उसमें? फिर आपका insurance premium कम हो गया, कितना opportunity है? फिर आपका company का image बढ़ गया, कितना opportunity है? So those things, risk-based approach. Audit activity is this. We have understood this audit criteria is there. You do the evaluation again. That's an activity. Again, the audit criteria. You find your audit findings. So you might get some non-compliances. You might get certain observations, which are for improvement. They may not be non-compliances, but opportunities for improvement. Okay. You can suggest those. Those are also called audit findings. So audit findings are two types. One is non-conformities, other is opportunities for improvement. Okay. So what is the difference between two?
So in these audit findings, it's more of highlighting, pinpointing. And
I said audit findings are two types. One is non-conformity, other is opportunity for improvement. So what is the difference?
The non-conformity is like you're saying that this particular thing is not happening.
Yeah, that which is required but not happening.
Not happening. And opportunities is like somewhere where you see more things can be added or reduced.
Yeah, correct. Though it is not required.
Not required.
Not mandatory by the system or the ISO standard, but if they do that, there is a possibility of improvement in that area. So that is opportunity for improvement. So auditors keep on giving gyan, without understanding whether that will really benefit the organization or help the organization. So give only that which you are at least 90% sure that they will be benefited by that. Otherwise, they will say ये कुछ भी बकवास करते हैं. The auditor is not credible. Keeps on giving suggestions which are no relevance and no use. Okay, so the activity is read the documented information, that is the standard and the system documented by the companies. Go for the audit. So the interview process, it takes place in the audit, which is very important. So you should be very good at interviewing the auditee. And while you interview, you have to take notes, which are observations. Okay. So once you take notes, after taking notes, some of the notes may not be useful for reporting. You say, okay, I verified this, it is good. So that is not to be included in the report. But you say, I verified this and I found there is a non-compliance. So that has to be reported. Then I observed this and find that if they do this, there is an opportunity for improvement. So this is useful, correct? So you have to go on.
points highlight नहीं करेंगे.
हाँ, पर आपको ये नोट करते जाना पड़ेगा. So you need a skill to interview and at the same time make notes. आपने देखा है ना इंटरव्यूअर क्या करता है, जो आपने जॉब इंटरव्यू में देखा होगा कि वो क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं तो कुछ लिखते भी जाते हैं ना, ऐसे एक शीट HR वाले ने उसको शीट दिया रहता है ऐसा नीचे लिख के रख के लिखते रहता है ऐसा, तो ऑडिटर हैज टू नोट डाउन, नीचे लिख के नहीं रख के नहीं, ऊपर ही रख के लिखने का है, so it has to be open to the auditee, so it's nothing secret about that. Only thing for convenience, it is put under the table by the interviewer in job interviews because it may depress the candidate or whatever it is, or it is confidential, so they should not see. But in case of auditing, it has to be all open, so it should be written in front of the auditee. Okay, and at the end of the audit you have to take signature on those notes from the auditee, so वो auditee पूछेगा आपने क्या लिखा, तो आप बोलो ये तो मेरा compliance है, ये non compliance है, ये मेरा observation है, आप इधर sign करो, I will properly frame it and then give this thing in the form of a report. He has to a good audit observation report is signed by the auditee.
Sometimes the auditee would refuse to sign also, no?
No, see, this is a matter of culture, आपका organization में कि if it is a matured organization and the management says that the auditee has to sign, so he will very well sign, but the auditor has to then prepare the proper observation report, no? वो कुछ भी लिखेगा जो सही नहीं है, गलत चीजें भी लिख देगा तो थोड़ी auditor करेगा.
Suppose 10 find out हुआ है और वो उसको बोल सकता है भी ये 3 जरूरी नहीं है लिखना, मैं clear
नहीं, that he will not decide, what the criteria is very clear, and based on that, if it is non-compliant, so it has to be reported, so you are not reporting something which is complying, no, so उसको तो sign करना ही पड़ेगा ना, because it is verifiable, as we said. You say, okay, let's go, if you are contesting, let's go and verify, देखो हो जाएगा ना. ARM से complaint number so and so what not resolved adequately, let's go back to this ARM, check करो, हाँ नहीं हुआ, ऐसा, so वो शुरू में resistance होगा, but once it becomes a practice, no, it will be easy.
Okay.
Okay. So this is covered in the standard, I have explained in brief, but that was a detailed thing. These are various evaluation methods auditing में, review of records, So what do you do in auditing? You review the records. Records आप check करते हो, verify the record, मतलब examples are given here. Feedback to provide information about how the performance of the person. Interview, evaluate desired professional behavior. Observation to evaluate desired professional behavior. Testing to evaluate desired professional knowledge. Post audit reviews to provide information on the auditor. So this is this particular thing is audit evaluation methods. So ये audit कैसा हो गया? How the audit has happened, how the auditor has performed, ये during the audit, these are various things, which are done. One is while the auditor is auditing the auditee, that time these things, these methods are used. Various methods are used, and the examples are given here. What do we do? Personal interviews, role playing, witness audits, on the job performance, oral and written exams, psychometric testing, review audit report. So, and this is in the guideline standard for the auditor's qualification. So, how to evaluate whether the audit method followed by the auditors in an organization are proper or not? So this is a check on the audit methodology. Okay. Not on the auditee, but the auditor's qualification. These are various things, which have to be examined before the auditor is certified as a qualified auditor. This is given in the guideline on, auditor's performance and qualifying an auditor. Competence of auditors. Personal behavior, knowledge, discipline of the sector specific skills, auditor evaluation methods. Okay. See. So what we saw was the objective of the audit, then auditing methodology, reporting of the audits, and then the auditor competence performance. These are the three areas which we saw. Now let's go back to this one, our section on the audit guidelines. Okay. Identify the standard which provides guidelines for auditing management systems.
So I cannot see.
Oh, you can. Oh, see. Yeah, I think it is not shared properly. Share. Yeah. This you can see, right?
Yes, sir.
Guidelines for auditing management systems. Which is the standard?
The 19,011.
Last one.
Yeah.
Then identify the current version.
18, na, sir?
2018. And the 9011 provides
guidelines for auditing management system, guidelines for implementing ISO system standards, requirements for auditing management systems, requirements for conducting management system audits.
ये वाला. Provide guidelines for auditing management systems.
Okay.
This is the correct answer. Then 2018 provide guidelines for all users, including small and medium-sized organization, and concentrated on what are commonly termed internal and second-party audits are often conducted by customers on their suppliers. So 19,011 provides guidelines for auditing management systems and can be used for certification audit, internal audit, second party audit, all of the above.
Provide guidelines that can be used first party, second party, as of first and second, na? All of the above ho jayega.
All of the above, all of the above. This can be used for all of the above. Okay, systematic process के ऊपर हमने काफी discussion कर लिया था. Then you have purpose of the audit. That also I think will be easy for you to do. This one, let's see this current. Arrange the following purposes of management system audit in order of importance. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have to give what is most important, and then list.
Get and maintain certificate, determine or confirm your management, identify improvement, measurement of effectiveness of management system in meeting objectives. So first is number 4. First we'll measure, right?
which is most important ये चारों में?
चारों में get and maintain certification.
ये important है,
So
तो ये
certification
least
important.
important है. For the company, this is not most important.
अच्छा, so identify opportunities for improvements.
नहीं, not only identify.
The determination of conformity.
नहीं, ये वाला देखो, मैनेजमेंट ऑफ इफेक्टिवनेस ऑफ मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम इन मीटिंग इट्स ऑब्जेक्टिव. मुझे
हाँ
नंबर 1 क्वालिटी बनाना है मार्केट में.
हाँ
दैट इज मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट, नो?
हाँ, तो हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है?
हाँ, so this is number 1. Then second is this.
हाँ,
Third is this.
third is this.
And last is this. Certification तो बाय प्रोडक्ट है.
हाँ,
So that is how you have to do. So little tricky, but important. Then types of audit. ये देखिए, conformity assessment is applicable to 17,021 is a standard for conformity assessment requirements for bodies providing audit and certification of management systems. So this standard is used by the accreditation boards. Conformity assessment requirements दिए इन्होंने. So it says certification audit, third party audit, audit by authorized third party.
टाइप्स ऑफ ऑडिट्स कहाँ पे है?
हम्म,
ये टाइप्स ऑफ ऑडिट मिल नहीं रहा है. एक मिनट. फर्स्ट पार्टी ऑडिट ये बुक में है?
नहीं, इधर देखो ना, ऊपर ही लिखा है ना, इसी के ऊपर लिखा है थर्ड पार्टी ऑडिट. ये क्वेश्चन है ना, इसके ऊपर. आई एम डिस्प्लेइंग इट ऑन द स्क्रीन. थर्ड पार्टी ऑडिट.
अच्छा.
Audit by authorized third party on the organization. Certification audit. Refer new standard ISO IEC 17,021-2018 conformity assessment requirements for bodies providing audit and certification of management systems.
Okay.
So
ये सेक्शन लेकिन है नहीं ना? ये सेक्शन है नहीं.
नहीं, ये सेक्शन है नहीं. वो तो हम our focus is on 19,011, but this is an information which is relevant to third party audit, and which it says it is defined in ISO IEC 17,021 conformity assessment, है ना? So any organization implementing ISO management system, certification requirements for auditors, bodies providing audit and certification of management systems, ये वाला जो है ना C. So these organizations are audited against this standard.
Got it.
Or who conducts the audit? Audit is conducted by the accreditation bodies. They say NBA will conduct this audit. And NBA will use this standard to conduct audit on, say, Bureau of Indian Standard.
Got it.
Yeah. Right. So I think we will close this. We had enough discussion on the audit process, and then we'll see the last chapter. So let's complete that also. Overview of other industry specific standards. So IATF, remember the full form of IATF? Akanksha had told in the morning, International Automotive Task Force.
Yeah.
So naturally this standard is related to automotive industry. Okay. So IATF includes 10 sections. Okay, so this is based on ISO 9001. ISO 9001 में कितने section है? 10 sections. ठीक है?
10.
Now.
So clauses ना? Sections जो बोल रहे हो?
Clauses, yeah. 10 clauses. ठीक है? Then documents required 160 auditable elements है इसमें.
अच्छा.
So what this standard does, no, it identifies what needs to be audited. So there is a checklist for each section, है ना. तो उन्होंने 160 एलिमेंट्स आइडेंटिफाई किए. चेकलिस्ट में कितने एलिमेंट है? 160.
अच्छा.
There are 351 specific requirements. Means
अच्छा.
in addition to requirements in ISO 9001, they have given additional requirements for automotive suppliers.
हाँ.
So जैसे clause 5 है leadership. So all the requirements under leadership of ISO 9001 are there, but they would have put some 10 additional requirements in that leadership clause. So that's called a supplementary requirement, which are specific to IATF.
Got
ये
it.
कितने requirement है? 351. Then in ISO, the required documents are, I don't remember, I think there are some 28 documents which are mandatory required in 9001. But in IATF, there are 42 documents which are required as mandatory documents. Okay. Then they have also specified 43 records. In ISO, they have specified some 15 or 20 records only as mandatory. There may be more, there may be 100 records, but what is minimum required in ISO 9000 is say 20. But here there are total 43 records. So what is in ISO 9000 is there, but there are additional also. So some examples of documents required by IATF, you know. So see, anti-bribery, employee conduct, ethics, escalation policies. This is not required in ISO 9001, but this is an additional requirement in the in this one, IATF. Total productive maintenance system is not specified and required in 9001, but it is required in IATF. So these are examples, additional documents. Then records, the calibration results, MSA results. These are required in 9000. Calibration results are required, but MSA is not required, specified in 9000. But MSA is specified in IATF, that is measurement system analysis.
Hmm.
So like that. So this is more stringent in case of the automotive sector. Then KPIs required. So they have defined the KPIs, productivity targets, supplier performance, total productivity, what is the OE, what is the MTBF, what is the MTTR. In ISO 9000, they have not defined any of the KPIs. Here, KPIs are defined. Okay. So supplemental to ISO 9001-2015 includes products with embedded software also applicable to production part, service part, and accessories. So that was about the IATF automotive standard. Now HACCP. So you need to have just some overall idea about, you know, not in detail. IATF is very detailed there, you know, but just you would get a hang of what it is. Now similarly, this HACCP. What is the full form of HACCP? This is related to food, you know.
So something to do with
Critical
health.
you know.
HACCP पता नहीं सर, मैंने I've heard about it, but not
book में दिया है.
book में दिया है ना, वही में दिया. हाँ, so hazard analysis and critical control
points. Yeah. So they have defined what are those hazard analysis, critical control points. Comprehensive systematic approach to applying proactive science-based methods and technologies to plan, control, and document safe production, handling, and preparation of foods. Covers food safety issues and is applicable from farm to table. So it covers the entire life cycle, you know. वो farm में से produce जो आता है, is it organic, insect, you know, उसमें chemicals का कितना use हुआ है, फिर how it is prepared in the kitchen, and when it is offered to the end user, that is the, you know, customer.
So this is what for hotel industry, even for packaged
this is
products?
for the, no, this is for hotel industry, yes, food industry.
Okay.
So this is these are the two important standards. Where is the chapter covers some other standards as well. Just an overview of other standards. We'll just quickly look through that. Okay. So IATF, we have seen a little bit overview of IATF. Then this is CMM. This is for software industry. Have you heard of CMM? CMMI, Capability Maturity Model.
No, sir.
Okay. So this is for software industry. We'll see the details. HACCP we have seen, and there are other industry specific standards like telecommunication industry and other industries. So IATF full form is, we have, of course, seen that. Now these are the specific requirements. Five important standards are there. Additional standards. There are sort of books on this. Sector specific requirements included in the standards. Production part approval process, advanced production quality plan, failure mode effect analysis, measurement system analysis, statistical process control. Oh, see, the what is important in the automotive industry is robustness and reliability of the components. So the always it's a dynamic equipment. So if you manufacture a furniture, it's not so critical, no? It is static. Furniture is static, but the automobile is dynamic. So the parts have to be reliable. Any part fails, that means it has a severe implication. Accidents could take place. And the aerospace industry is even more critical. So their standards are still more stringent. They are defined in AS 9000. Okay. So one thing to remember is this IATF 16949 standard is applicable to which industry?
Automobile.
Automobile. And in automobile, when you say automobile, can you give an example?
So cars, trucks.
Yeah. So company, which company will implement this?
Acha, like Ford, Chevrolet, like that.
So these people are very smart, Ford, Chevrolet, General Motors, Tata Motors and all. They have said these standards are applicable to the automotive suppliers, not to the automotive companies.
तो suppliers कौन है sir?
Suppliers
ये लोग अपना parts भी बनाते हैं ना?
नहीं, जैसे bearing supplier करने वाला है, SKF.
तो टायर वाला जैसे.
टायर वाला है,
Fiat.
Yeah. So all these suppliers to the automotive industries, they have put stringent requirements on these suppliers, not on their own. So their belief is if their suppliers do good job, they will do a good job, and there is no need to verify what they are doing.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a irony. They should themselves get audited against this IATF, and I am sure many of them will fail in that. But they are putting this requirement of the suppliers. Okay, just give this example to let you know that what is the applicability of this standard. Okay, so don't have to go in much detail, but just to have an overview. So arrange the following. Yeah.
16949 is for automobiles, right?
Automotive suppliers.
Automotive suppliers.
Not for the automobile manufacturers.
Got it.
Okay. Arrange the following in chronological order. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this standard, has evolved. First they adopted 9001.
Yeah.
Then they came up with QS 9000. Then they came up with TS 16949. And then finally IATF 16949. So that is the chronological order.
Okay.
Okay. So these are some so mostly principles related questions. Are supplementary requirement in IATF are basically specific customer requirements related to core tools, specific automotive requirements in addition to 9001 2015. So C is the correct answer.
हाँ.
No, the clauses are given, what are some of the additional requirements. In addition to 9001, these are some of the additional key requirements in IITF. Now, here the question, problem solving is covered under clause 10.2.3 to 10.2.6. This is an example of a special requirement, a supplementary requirement, a customer requirement, and automotive specific requirement. See here, the answer will be here. Problem solving. Establish a documented process for problem solving, and all these blah, blah, blah things are given from 3 to 6. In ISO 9000, no, it ends with 10.2.2. 10.2.1, 10.2.2, that is the end of ISO 9001. Then they have come with 3, 4, 5, 6, in which these are the aspects which are covered. So this is a automotive specific requirement. Okay, so answer is automotive specific requirement given by the AITF. Okay, we will go now. This CMM is capability maturity model integration used by the IT industry, and they have defined software process improvement process. To improve their software capabilities, organization must take 6 steps: understand the current status of their processes, develop a vision, establish a list of required processes, produce a plan to accomplish the required actions, commit the resources to execute the plan, start over at step 1. So this is the sequence: software capability organizations to improve their capabilities. So this standard CMM is for improving the software capability, and these are the steps, 6 steps. The question is arrange the improvement steps to improve software capabilities. So what is the correct sequence? Develop vision, understand current status, prioritize the improvement actions. So this will be 1, this will be 2, this will be 1, this will be 2, and this will be 3. Develop will be 3. First is identify, second is prioritize, third is develop the vision. The CMMI framework has following number of levels. So steps were 6, but
Yes.
levels are 5.
How, sir?
These are the
I'll
5
start
levels.
over at 5.
Yeah, the levels are described below.
Yeah.
Those are the 6 steps, 6 steps, but these are the levels. Number 1 is initial, where you just identify, So statistical process control, orderly progress, process improvement is not possible, but you have identified the processes and try to understand the current level. Then repeatable. So there is some maturity where the performance can be repeatable. Then third is defined. The organization has defined the process as basics, consistent. So a process is capable and consistent process giving consistent output. So that means it is in the state of statistical control. When you read the attend Mr. Banerjee's session next week on SPC, you will understand these 3 things, these 5 steps: initial, repeatable, defined, because they are related to SPC. Then managed. This is organization has initiated comprehensive process measurements and analysis. So your process is capable under stage level 3, but under 4, now you have identified the areas where you have done root cause analysis and where you can achieve significant improvement. So your processes are managed and then optimized. Foundation for continuing improvement and optimization of the process is there in place. So level 1, the questions are related to that. Read the para below the and answer. It is much like driving an automobile. Few drivers with any experience will continue driving for very long when the engine warming lights come on, regardless of their rush. Similarly, most drivers starting on a new journey will, regardless of their hurry, pause to consult a map. They have learned the difference between speed and progress. They above compares with the following level of CMMI process. तो ये थोड़ा सा हाई लेवल का अंडरस्टैंडिंग वाला क्वेश्चन हो गया कि इज इट इन द इनिशियल स्टेज or next stage, that is defined stage.
Repeatable, na sir?
So is it few
So this will be initial.
Yeah, this is just with with any experience will continue driving for a very long when the engine warming lights on and so that. So this is just an initial stage for the driver. So in CMMI, this stage is just an initial. Then repeatable. This is an repeatable. The organization faces major risks when they are presented with new challenges. The organization most probably is at the repeatable stage. So with each stage, a particular question is framed, and you won't have readily this portion available in front of you, but you have to just correlate it. You will have the book in front of you, but once you understand what is basically meant by repeatable, defined, repeatable, optimized, managed, you will be quickly able to identify the correct answer. Okay, for each stage, there are questions. So this is CMMI. Then hazard analysis में इसका full form पूछ लिया है. It consists of how many principles? So 7 principles. Assemble HSSCP team. For implementing HSSCP, assembling a multidisciplinary team is an example of requirement, task, audit, and principle. So what is it? It's this may be assembly.
Assembling.
It's a requirement. Is it a task? It is an audit or a principle. It's a requirement. You need to have a multidisciplinary team. Okay. For implementing HSSCP, consulting a flow diagram is an example of
is an example of
requirement, task, audit, principle. देखो इधर should लिखा है.
Principle.
Should. No, when it is should, it is a requirement. You need to have a flow diagram. It's a requirement. Listing of all hazards in the complete operation is part of hazard identification, hazard analysis, hazard recognition, all of the above. Listing of all hazards.
All of the above.
Yeah. Should list the hazard that may be reasonably expected processing. So manufacture and distribution till the point of consumption. Listing of all hazard in part of hazard analysis. Part of hazard analysis. Okay. So these are certain principles, and related to that, principle 1, there are some questions. Then principle 2 is critical path, critical control points related to that. Then third principle, for with each principle, you have one key question. Identify a HSSCP record. Hazard analysis, critical limit determination, CCP monitoring activities. These are they all records?
They are verification.
Only this is the record.
They are documentation.
No, record, document, documents, there are 2 types. One is record and one is a document. Documented information has 2 parts. One is the document, other is the record. So record, like a report, test report and analysis report. So hazard analysis is a record, whereas critical limit determination is an activity. CCP monitoring is an activity. So what is the record? Record is hazard analysis. Okay? Now we have TL 9000, which is related to the telecommunication industry. It is again developed by telecom service providers for telecom suppliers, like automotive, no?
Yes.
But later on, they found a requirement which is there for these telecom service providers, and the TL 9000 standard became standard applicable to the telecom service providers, and not only to the telecom equipment manufacturers. So there are two parts in this. One is requirements and other is the service levels. So that service level thing is applicable to the telecom service providers like Reliance or Airtel. Okay. So therefore, it is developed by Quest Forum. Developed by Quest Forum. The quality excellence for suppliers of telecommunication using ISO 9000 as a baseline. TL 9000 consolidates various industry requirements to promote consistency, efficiency, and improve customer satisfaction while streamlining the costs. So Quest Forum is there in US, and the quality excellence for suppliers of telecommunications. So telecommunication suppliers are basically the telecom service providers as well as the telecom industry. So TL 9000, it says 1998 Quest Forum, a group of service providers, suppliers, and licensed dedicated to telecom industry developed TL 9000. So who are all involved? Service providers like Bell Telecom or Reliance Infocom or Airtel. They are the service providers. Suppliers are Lucent Technologies. Or Tata Telecom is a supplier. Tata Teleservices is a provider, but Tata Telecom is the equipment manufacturer. And license. There are various intermediaries, license, like the government intermediaries are there, which are called license. So it's a industry which is complex, because all these telecom services, like we see, we go to US and our mobiles start working there. So the seamless working of the telecom services has been achieved through use of this common standards and the licensing authorities. For example, the network calls are going through a common say cable, undersea cable, which is owned by a particular company, but all the service providers, they use that common cable. So those companies which are using that, they are licensed. The companies which provide, say, the towers in India, it is what is that company? Indus Towers. They provide towers to all service providers. So they are called license.
So manufacturers फिर यहाँ पे ये जो question है, TL 9000 has been developed by and implementation by suppliers तो है.
Suppliers है, फिर manufacturers, telecom equipment भी है, suppliers, फिर telecom service providers भी है. तो इसका आंसर है all of the above.
तो suppliers को हम manufacturers बोलेंगे. हाँ,
see, suppliers of telecom industry, तो उसमें manufacturers भी है, service providers भी है, companies like Indus Telecom भी है. So all these companies which are organizations which are related to provision of telecom services to a customer are involved in development of TL 9000. These are various goals. Establish and maintain a common set of telecom quality management system requirement which reduces the number of standards for the industry. Foster a system that protects integrity. define effective cost and performance measurement system, drive continual improvement, leverage the industry conformity assessment process. Now, there are specific requirements to telecom industry like IATF. So here the specific requirements are related basically to the performance measured based on the reliability of the product, software development and life cycle management, requirement of specified service functions, requirement of to address communication between telecom operators and reporting of quality measurement data to a central repository. So depending upon which organization, is it a supplier, is it a service provider, or it's a licensing organization, various service parameters have been defined for the industry. And once certified, they have to periodically report the performance on those parameters to Quest Forum. So in no other certification system, this requirement is there that the performance is reported to a common body. So here what happens, the performance reported to Quest Forum, and then Quest Forum releases periodic reports doing sort of a benchmarking activity, saying who is number one, in which parameters Reliance is ahead, in which parameters Airtel is lagging, or how it is better than the British Telecom. So all these activities are done by Quest Forum to promote competition and improvement of the service. Correct? So in India, no company is, I think, certified to TL 9000, and there are no certification agencies who are in India. Nobody is capable of performing audits against TL 9000. I have myself been part of the telecom industry for at least 7-8 years, and we are looking for somebody who can certify for TL, but in India there was nobody. Okay, so I think we could just have an overview of this industry specific standards. So hopefully you got some flavor of that. We don't need to get into much more details of the requirements of the standard, but just to get what is happening in different sectors of the industry related to the management system standards, specifically to the quality. Correct? Okay, so I think it has been a long day, and hopefully it has been useful.
Yes.
Okay, those who attend this course, definitely they get benefited. And last most candidates, they have qualified for this paper 2. You did not appear.
Yeah.
So that is one of the reason why there are less candidates in this session. Also, it is comparatively easier to read and understand this. So that is another reason people prefer to not spoil their Sundays, but and attend the session. But for the other paper, especially paper 2 and paper 4, which are much more difficult to understand by self-study, and there will be number of failures also. So you will find number of people attending those sessions. There will be repeat. Those who could not pass in the last exam, they will also be there. There will be new candidates, and there are many people who don't attend because they are not ready. Okay. Any questions you have?
So you were to give the percentage.
Yeah. Okay, I have that slide ready with me. I thought I will share with all, but So you see, I said 10% to 15%. So most sections have adequate representation. Okay. There could be some variation here and there, but this is roughly. Important thing is, you will have 40 questions in principles and 40 in application. Okay. You will have 1 hour to solve these 40 questions in principles and 1.5 hours to solve these 40 questions in application.
It'll be separate, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And another thing is the weightage for applications is 60%, and weightage for principles is 40%. So accordingly, the consolidated score will be determined.
Oh, so total questions like in evolution of quality and management system, 8 questions are there.
Yeah. No, in principles 4 and applications 4. For
So
example,
first,
lesson number 1.
huh,
So you will have 4 questions in principles and 4 in application. There will be 2 separate papers, principal paper and application paper.
but same day.
Yeah, same day. First you will have principles 1 hour, then 1.5 hours applications.
Okay.
Okay. For each question, there is 1.5 marks in application and 1 mark in principle.
Okay.
Okay.
So application is 60%.
Yes. Sir.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question?
Sir, project, what needs to be given?
Yeah, I will send you the detailed instruction for the project.
Okay.
You can submit the project with, though we have given the date, as some 20th August or so, but we will extend that date till end of August or middle of September.
Okay, sir.
So basically, you have to give a 5 to 6 page report on a particular concept, what you understood, and the one which you have implemented in your organization, maybe previous or current organization, and what are the benefits of that. So that is all about the project. So a lot of flexibility is there, and you can consult us while you undertake that writing the project report.
Okay, sir.
Okay, we'll discuss that, and then we'll guide you, what could be the appropriate topic for your project.
All right, sir.
Okay.
So every subject has a project.
Yeah, every subject has a project. Yes.
Okay.
And you have grading of the projects, A, B, C, D. So D means fail.
Okay.
A means very good, and just fair is C.
Okay.
So A, B, C. Great. For qualifying, at least grade C is required.
Okay.
If you get a grade D, then you will have to resubmit.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
And sir, paper 5 and 6, when will I get the books, sir?
I will suggest, I told Aarti that she can send you, but you may not find time to read that. So what we recommend is, just clear the first 4 papers.
Okay.
Then take the next 4 in next exam, that will be in January.
Okay.
You need adequate time to study advanced level 2 modules.
Okay.
Okay, so if you want, we can send you, but I just said just hold on, because we keep updating also the syllabi and books. So if there is a updation in between, then there will be problem, or we will have to again resend that to you. That's why.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine, sir.
Yeah. Okay, then thank you for being throughout the day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.